It may be your wish that it's the last day we discuss anthems, taking a knee, President Trump, White House visits. Well, maybe, but we've had another week of all sorts of reaction to this story, the story that has enveloped the sports world. So here we go again with the Stanley Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins entering the fray, as it were, perhaps causing more reaction by announcing that they would not visit the White House than the NBA champion Golden State Warriors did by indicating that they did not want to go, thus having their invitation withdrawn. The Penguins had every right to make the choice they made. Of course, apart from that, do you support it or criticize it, Steve?
I criticize it, and I don't understand it. I don't understand why they got involved. I don't understand why they went public with any kind of statement at all. And if their intention, which is my understanding, was to be non-political in everything they were doing, they have in fact entered the political process by saying we will go to the White House. And so I think if I'm the Pittsburgh Penguins now, I gather my team back together again. We do some sober second thought here. We talk about it, and I think we decide maybe a different direction than what was determined last week.
Last night, Donald Trump tweeted out a hockey video. It was a rousing rendition of the national anthem in Chicago. It was a year old. It was Military Appreciation Night. But what that tells you is that the Pittsburgh Penguins tried to be perfectly hockey, avoid controversy, find the safe middle ground, nobody notice us. Donald Trump pulls you either onto his side or the other side. And you can't really avoid that. You have to make a choice, and they made a choice.
By indicating that they weren't making a choice.
Yes. I talked to Devontae Smith-Pelly this week. He's a black player, plays for the Washington Capitals. He said of Sid, he had the chance to do something. That's the guy. And I don't blame Sid.
Is to be, he won't say spit if his mouth is full of it.
Yeah.
It's Sid's history. But you get that from him.
Yeah, I don't blame Sid because he's not equipped for this. Hockey isn't equipped for this. There are so few black players. There are so few players who grew up in poverty at all. It's mostly Canadian and European players as much as anything, or white American players.
Well, you're quite right that, and I'm not sure why everybody is stuck on trying to figure out what the latest issue is. The latest issue is Donald Trump, where Colin Kaepernick had other issues, and they were tough for some people to understand. Now it's you're for Donald Trump or you're against Donald Trump because he picked this fight, and we would not be having this discussion for a week or 2 weeks if he had not said you're SOBs and you ought to be fired. Here's what I think Sidney Crosby missed. He missed an opportunity to do one of several things. He could have showed solidarity with other professional athletes and those in his own city, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are in the dressing room when the anthem is played. He could have stood up for Canadian workers who are rather under attack in NAFTA talks, a trade war, if you will, and he would have been applauded for that. And he could have simply said, as I think everybody should say when invited to the White House, that I don't really want to be in the same room or shake the hand of a despicable human being. He did none of those things. He said, it's an honor to go to the White House. And so you put him down in the box marked Donald Trump, yes.
But what I'm most uncomfortable with in all of this is that it plays into the division that we're now seeing in America and possibly in Canada as well, is all of the criticism from Donald Trump is primarily in an African-American vein. Here we have hockey, a primarily white sport. And what you have now is a deepening of the division between what Trump accepts and what Trump doesn't accept or won't accept. And I think that's problematic.
I don't think there's a way around that, though. Like, I don't think there is a middle ground.
Well, there
to
was
be
a way
found.
around it if you're the Penguins and you decided not to go.
Except if they decide not to go, you have people on the other side of the fence saying they have deepened the division in America. Like that's the thing here is it's a cage match. I mean, these guys are not. This is arm wrestling.
But Bruce, it's as deep as it's getting.
Yeah, but then that's why.
I don't know how you take it deeper, and certainly the Pittsburgh Penguins wouldn't.
Well, I mean, you can always take it deeper, but what it is you pick a side. Even by trying not to pick a side, you pick a side. Like the whole thing of the NFL and unity, when they say we are linking arms for unity, what does that say? That says that if you are doing something else, if you are kneeling, you are not for unity, you are on the other side. You pick a side.
But here's what I wonder. How much thought did the Pittsburgh Penguins actually put into making this determination? Was there team meetings? Were the players all conversing?
Well, it had to be thought because, as you say, it wasn't a necessary announcement to make.
Except that Sid said they didn't really talk about it very much.
Well, first of all, what the Pittsburgh Penguins could have said when asked last weekend is, we don't even have our team picked yet, so we can't have this conversation until we have a roster that we're going to put in place and let our players on our roster make that determination. The leading American on the Pittsburgh Penguins is Phil Kessel. Can you imagine for a moment Phil Kessel making a political speech to his teammates one way or the other?
They're all,
actually, here's what I've been told by people who are close to the Penguins. Sid is not really a Trump guy. He's not a pro-Trump guy.
Sid doesn't strike me as a political guy at all.
Phil is. Phil thinks Donald Trump's all right, or did as of the playoffs last year or earlier this year. Like, there are guys in that room with political opinions. I just think they all went with the hockey default setting
of the commissioner of the NHL, who
Yes.
says he does not weigh into politics. He said that in the city of Calgary. Mind you.